back by popular demand. This is the Turnbucklepad Podcast on YouTube.com. Respect wrestling or get out. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Turnbucklepad Podcast Season 2. And we are with Warzone Wrestling out of North Carolina this season. We have had a lot of fun people on board so far. Even their heavyweight champion has came on. Today, it's getting better. Today I have one of the lovely women wrestlers of Warzone Wrestling. I want you to put your hands together and welcome my guest, Sahara Seven. Sahara, thanks for joining the show.
Oh, you're welcome. No problem. I'm excited.
Now tell the fans how long you've been in the business now.
I've been in the business actually working for 2 years. I've actually been in training for about 2.5. I'm one of the people who, if I didn't feel ready, I wasn't going out there to expose myself. So, took that extra time to, hatch all my thoughts and my style.
Well, that's good. That's good, because I'm actually glad we got somebody on the show now who's still relatively somewhat new, because we do like to pick the brains of others to find those values that makes the business so special, you know, and even a 2-year person has probably a couple of ways of looking at things that others don't. You know, what are some things you picked up on, that you found out on your own that you weren't half the taught?
I work like I am I don't know how to put this. I don't understand, because I don't work like I'm super green, but I work like I know what I'm doing, but I'm willing and ready to learn. So I feel like that's where I differentiate myself from a lot of people. It's like certain people start feeling themselves at 2 years, 3 years, but me, I'm just like, okay, I know, certain things I do know, but other things I'm just like, okay, you know something that I don't know? Hey, please teach me, because I want to know.
Yeah, now tell us, some of the people who've been training you, I heard you've had quite an extensive list so far.
I've been had the honor to be trained by Sean Jennings, who is one half of the Georgia Bulldogs, and an infamous Mid-Atlantic tag team based out of right here in Virginia, and the Mid-Atlantic Badass, Damian Wade. He is one of the go-to guys in the Mid-Atlantic. You can't come to the Mid-Atlantic area without thinking about Damian Wayne, and currently I am being mentored by GW Anderson. He's the ECW original, and he is by far, I would say, he's kind of like my, the voice in here, the conscience in my head. It's like, there's times where, like I said, I'm still kind of new, and that's like, I don't really know, but there's times where I can run to him and ask him a question, and he automatically, knows the answer, and it's like, whether or not it's something I want to hear, pretty much, spits it to me, 100% real, no sugarcoating, and he's, upfront and honest with it. So I've been fortunate to have those three in my corner, and, I'm thankful for them, because if it wasn't for them, there would be no me.
Everybody's got to start somewhere, right?
Exactly.
Where did your start with wrestling begin?
My start started when I was younger. I was a victim of bullying, and I would get bullied so bad that I would just cry, because I didn't want to get physical with the kids that were bullying me, because for some reason I still wanted them to like me, which now looking back I wouldn't be sure much. But I used to just get bullied a lot, and I would come home and I would turn on the TV and I would watch wrestling. I had siblings that watched wrestling, and cousins and uncles and aunts, and I would watch wrestling, and I started seeing people that I could relate to. Everybody knows that I love Victoria or Tara, Lisa Marie Barron. There's people who are more familiar with her real name. She is my ultimate favorite when it comes to women. And I remember when she first broke in the business, everybody was so high on Trish Stratus. And I mean, that's understandable. Trish Stratus, she's pretty amazing. Even in personal, in real life, she's amazing. But everybody was so high on her that, when she captured her first women's title, she was the underdog. And Trish was kind of mean to her at first. So I kind of, resonated with that. And then also, just seeing all these underdogs go through these situations, and then them coming out on top at the end, it kind of gave me the strength to keep going in day-to-day life. And then, eventually now, I would say I'm coming out on top. Not all the way there yet, but I'm coming out on top. And there's been quite a few people who bullied me back in the days who's hit me up, see my wrestling, and they're like, that is so cool. I never thought you would turn out to actually be a wrestler. I used to have, like, stickers all over my planner, and pictures, and posters, and backpacks, and shirts, and it was a mess. It was a mess. I could say my life was more wrestling related in more ways than I could count in the beginning. So that's how I got my start, really. It was just something that resonated with me, wrestling, resonated with me being a bullied kid and seeing all these superstars, stand up and overcome boundaries and obstacles and even, bullies that on TV themselves. And it just gave me the strength. And then one day, after I, graduated college, I was just like, okay, I did everything that, you're supposed to do in your normal adult life. Now I want to go have some fun and do what I really want to do. And I enrolled myself in a wrestling school. And from there on, it's history.
That's awesome. It's safe to say you're one of those people that's a wrestling sponge. You just soak up everything around you.
Oh, yeah. You got to. You got to soak up everything.
But, I'm sure it's pretty safe to say that you've also done your homework on the history and the traditions and all the other aspects of the business, too, correct?
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah.
Do you ever sit back and wish...
business, you don't do your homework on, what it's like to be in the business, then you're going to think faster than you float. Because the wrestling business is about respect. And that's something I pride myself on, is respect. And being in the wrestling business, you got to give respect, and you have to earn respect in order to get respect.
This is true. Very true. And I'm glad that you've seen the differences between then and now and how much differently it was done. If you really had to pick a way of getting trained or an era you wanted to be a part of, would it be the old school traditional era or where it's at now?
Okay, that's kind of hard. I mean, if I had to pick where I wanted to train, I like my training now. It's because I still have the old school training when it comes to Damian Wayne and C.W. Anderson. I still have that old school training, but the new school aspect of it, which comes from Sean Denny, I was doing drills 2 times a day till my arms fall off and my legs fall off. But I'm not going to lie, some of the stories back then, on WWE programming and WWF, and, Monday Night Wars was pretty cool, so I wouldn't have minded being a part of those. So I wouldn't mind, but, yeah, I mean, I like the way things are going now. It's so many new and just, fresh and inventive things, but I would have killed to be back in the spot with Lita and Trish, if I could just hold their towel, that would be great.
Oh, I can imagine. I can only imagine. It's really cool to see the evolution, how far the women's division of wrestling has evolved over the years. I think it's never been higher than where it's at now.
Oh, yeah, it's blowing up, and I'm so happy, and I'm just so, elated, because it's such good timing, and it's just about time. I'm always about women empowering women. I love when I see other females in the business. I get excited, and it's our time to show and prove that we're just as good as the boys, maybe even better in some aspects.
There have been some cases.
Even better in some aspects, but I feel like now it's either as a female wrestler, it's now or never. It's time to put up or shut up. This is our time. Somebody has created a segue and opened the door for years and years. Those women before us, from the great move on, have fought to have this moment, this opportunity. So let's grab life by the horns, ride it to the wheels fall off.
Yep, that's exactly why they did it, so people could do that. And it's really cool to see women's wrestling evolving into the points that it is, because before I think it used to be a little bit harder, to prove yourself in a male-dominated sport. But it's great to see how times have changed, and now it doesn't seem like there's that much pressure anymore like that.
No, we went from a sideshow attraction to being semi-main event to main event. And now it's like, I feel like everybody's starting to see that, women's wrestling can be just as entertaining as, regular men's wrestling. And sometimes, like I said, even a little bit more. Because you never know what we might do with our little mood swings, since that seems to play a huge part in our characters. So you never know what we might pull out. Might pull out a moonsault, might pull out a 450. Who knows? We might just dive off the top rope just because we feel like it.
Right. Yeah. I can agree with that. I mean, I can remember probably over the last year, just from watching WWE just for example. It seemed like at times I was excited to watch Raw to see what the women's division was going to do next because it was a great storyline that was going on. You were getting some really good wrestling matches, and it was blowing out everything else. Then you started seeing them main eventing pay-per-views and Monday Night Raws. It's like, wow, they're really putting the guys to shame right now.
Yeah, but and I feel like it's like the guys are even starting to notice that, yeah, these girls are working hard. It's no longer just a stigma that girls only want to be there to look pretty, and they start to notice that, girls are working hard, so they don't mind, taking a second seat, like, or a passenger seat, to work hard and put in the dedication and love the business just as much as they do.
Yeah.
Men are not all, cases. They have their moments. I feel like it's just, when passion meets passion, one person can't deny the other person's passion.
So what are your goals for the future? So I know right now you're working with Warzone Wrestling. What other places are you getting some work at, or where people can come possibly see you?
I am working with AML Wrestling, which is American Most Like Wrestling, in Winston-Salem. I'm pretty much everywhere, but I've been to Canada's Wrestling League in Canada. I'm working on Mexico. Japan is on the horizon, so that's a big one for me. I'm looking to get foot in the door and shine and shimmer, so that'll be pretty soon. I'm getting my way out to the West Coast. I'm excited about that. Down south in Texas and Florida, Booker T's Reality of Wrestling is one of my places that I'm going to hit while I'm in Texas. What else? I'm going to go down there. I'm going to go visit the Team 3D Dojo because I really, really have heard great things about that, and so I'm really, really interested to go down there and learn from them. I keep saying this. I'm going to keep my fingers crossed. I love Jade from TNA, so I'm hoping that, when I'm down there, I can cross paths and have an awesome match with her because I think she'd be a great person to learn from. So that's in my near future. I can tell you that right now. It's going to happen. I'm claiming it now. Sahara 7 versus Jade, and you heard it here first. So.
Hey, can't ask for nothing more than that. Well, we know you're kind of new still in the business, so we might have to change up our fun question that we ask all our guests. I guess in your aspect, because you said 2 years in, what is it you look for? Okay, what is it you look for in wrestling and in wrestling trainers that matters most to you?
In trainers, I look for respect, understanding, and knowledge. And in wrestlers, I look for same thing, respect. But in wrestlers, I look for respect, technique, and passion. Like, I can't stand meeting another worker who doesn't have a passion for the business, who just doesn't take it seriously, who thinks this is all like a game. Mm-hmm. And for some people, this is their dream. Like, for me, like a little 12-year-old girl who's like, I'm going to be a WWE superstar one day. So to see people who just take this as a game and don't take it seriously and don't train and don't try, it bothers me. So I always look for passion, respect, and technique in another wrestler. And once you have those things, it's like, if you're a good person, that's just an added bonus. But if you have those three things, then you're all right.
That's definitely good to hear. Well, if fans wanted to find you, how can they find you?
if fans want to find me, they can find me on Facebook. They can look me up under my name, Sahara Seven, and you spell my name Sahara, and then Seven you spell it SE, the number 7, EN. And on Instagram, I am on Instagram at Sahara the Seventh, and once again, you spell my name Sahara, and then type out THE, and then the number 7, and then TH. And I'm on Twitter also. I'm everywhere. On Twitter, I am Sahara _007. So, my homage to 007.
Well, if you would be so kind to join me in a moment here, I'd like to take one moment just to show some love to George the Animal Steele, the father of the Guerrero family, and Ivan Koloff and their families. It just seems every year we're losing many greats, more and more every day, and just recently we just lost more, so this would be a great moment just to pay a little bit of respect and honor them for what they did for the business.
Oh, yeah.
What, do you have any favorite moments of these guys?
Ivan Koloff, I can remember at High Volume Pro Wrestling, it was July what's the name? I can't remember of this past year. I had met him. I had the pleasure of meeting him. He was so positive and so warm. And he, like, I just wanted to hug him. And I literally went up to him and asked him, could I have a hug? And he was like, absolutely. And I was like, you're just so full of knowledge. You're so willing to teach and so willing to help that I couldn't believe, a man who was, fearsome like that, back in the day. Was just so sweet. It was like, he was so, I don't know, like, everybody calls him Uncle Ivan, but that really does describe him. He's like your uncle that you could run to with your problems, listen to you with open arms and open ears. And that was just my first experience of meeting him. I saw him once more, without the name of the show, and he was the exact same way. His character never changed, and he was always a good person. And it's just sad that, we lose greats in that light every year. It just seems like we can't just take one loss. We have to take another and another and another. But their memories will never be, forgotten. And especially for the ones that they touched, even in ways that they probably didn't even know they touched. Like, he opened my eyes and made me think, like, you could be that great of a person and still be considered a legend without having to have all the stigmatism around you, being a big shot or not wanting to talk to the little guy. He took his time to talk to every single person, shake everything on hand, smile and laugh. And it just made me feel so warm inside. So I thank him for that. And he will be missed.
That's how people are remembered. It's how people live on. It's through our memories and their teachings they pass down to us. Well, fans, this wraps up our time with the wonderful and the beautiful Miss Sahara Seven. Thanks again for taking your time out and joining the show. We'll hope to see you being a women's champion real soon.
Oh yeah, you know it. That's my thing. I'm coming to snatch some crowns and some titles and bring them back to where they really belong, and the crown on my head and the gold around my waist. So, fall from the coast. Namaste you later.
This is Mike Silver. I'm your host, fans. This has been my guest, Sahara 7. We're out.